myself in case anybody, oh, we're on. There we go. I was taking photos of myself. Uh, how you doing? This is your old man, poppopd. Vincent's my name. Go by poppopd. You see me before, I think. I'm not sure. I know I've seen me before, and maybe nobody else is looking. I'm not sure. Let me straighten this out. Oh, oh, no, I guess I can't. I guess we're good. You're looking into my living room here a little bit, but that's not going to hurt anything. Nobody's in there that's going to do any damage. Anyway, I'm the very old man, and not quite the extremely old man, not yet. But tonight I'm going to partake, like that word, partake, uh, and talk about a more serious subject. This subject is for children, young boys and girls, and parents. It's serious as a heart attack. It really is. So let me be honest with you. I have some papers up here, right above the computer here, because if you heard me before, I babble a lot, and don't want to do that, and I'm doing it anyway. I'm still doing it. I'm still babbling. But I thought if I write out something and try to get a pretty good outline, maybe I won't babble as much. I don't want to bore you. That's what you think. I do. I do. Anyway, hopefully, and if you see my eyes go up, it's because I'm looking at the paper, okay? I'm not looking at the ceiling, looking for little bugs or anything. I'm looking at the paper. So hopefully, what I'm going to talk about will resonate with most of you. I'm not a professor, I'm not a lecturer, I'm just me. But recently, I looked up some sites about virtues, and most of the people that were presented these virtues as a topic did so purely from an academic point of view. Now, that's okay if you're going to school and you're studying maybe philosophy and psychology. Yeah, that's great. From that point of view, it's cool. But I want to approach this from a different angle, perhaps make it easier, maybe not as fun. But you're not paying the tuition, right? You're not paying, a few $1,000s to hear this. I don't think you're paying a penny. I take a penny. I don't get embarrassed to take pennies. Anyway, how do I want to approach it? I want to use a short poem, very short, very, very, very short story that gets the point across about a particular virtue. What do you think? Huh? Sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, you're not going to get graded on this, so don't worry about it. So here's my paper. Look at that. Look at all the work I did, just so I'm the only one to look at this. But there's my first page. So it sounds good, huh? So let's see how it works. All right, humor me, humor me. We all develop, as we're growing, we all develop good or bad habits in our youth. So I submit to you, it's imperative that we must teach by practice and example our young. We have to show them how to be good. There's good and all kinds of traits and virtues that they should learn as little children. So, our parents, our teachers, our grandparents, great grandparents, or whatever, we all have to be in this together. And because children today, I'm digressing a little bit now, okay? Children today are in the stage of gimme. They got the gimmies and they don't want to get the gimmies. And you got to have some gimmies, right? So, uh, the good habits, they're going to be carrying to adulthood and to become good persons and better citizens. Now, my definition of a virtue is simple. It's a trait. It's a trait. It's either good, it could be good, it could be bad. It describes a person's value system. For instance, you look at a person, that's a good person. That's a kind person, a responsible person, a courteous person, a compassionate person. And here goes my second page. Aren't you happy? Uh, uh, but also a compassionate person. There's so many different traits and virtues that children should learn and endear and embed it into their uh, value system in their brain and use it. They'll be great, great people. But on the negative side, you hear people, boy, he's an angry person. You don't like that. He's a selfish person. You get me. You get me. I mean, there's a lot more negative or evil type virtues, but I'm not going to go into all of those. I try not to. I throw them away. Most of these descriptive words, compassion. He's a very responsible person. They're describing the person. So most of these traits are adjectives, right? And they're extremely powerful. It's a creator of people. It stays with us for life. So let's do our best to be positive role models for our young. I must admit I have a selfish streak. I'm not all that good positive stuff. I try to be most of the time, but I'm old and I'm waiting for people to help me. That would be part of compassion. Look at that old man. He's tottering. He's going to fall. Grab him quick. Compassionate. I have a selfish streak, especially when my wife cooks spaghetti and meatballs. Good. I don't want anybody else to eat them. Fortunately, it's just me and her. She and me. That's it. But I allow her to eat. Ain't I a good person? See, ain't I a good person? Anyway, enough of this. Let's look at the two virtues that I want to talk about. One of them is responsibility. The other one is compassion. And I hope you get something out of this. Okay. I hope you do. And here comes page number 3. There's nothing else. Page number 3. Now, this is going to be a very short poem. So, and it's going to be concerning responsibility. See if any of if you could relate to it, okay? And let me see. And bear with me. I'm not the storyteller I used to be. Of course, my kids never said I was a great storyteller. Of course, I had a lot of girls when I was very young that said I told a lot of stories. This is called The Moral Compass by William Bennett. I'm not going to read the whole book. I'm going to read just a little thing here. Okay. And this is called Mr. Nobody. You don't want to be that guy. I know a funny little man, as quiet as a mouse, who does this mischief that is done in everybody's house. There's no one ever sees his face, and yet we all agree that every cracked plate we break was cracked by Mr. Nobody. 'Tis he who always tears our books, who leaves the door ajar. He pulls buttons from our shirts and scatters pins afar. The squeaking door will always squeak, for prithee, don't you see? We leave the oiling to be done by Mr. Nobody, right? You know that. He puts damp wood upon the fire that kettles cannot boil. His are the feet that can bring in mud and all the carpets soil. The papers are always mislaid, you know that. Who had them last but he? There's no one tosses them about but Mr. Nobody. Nobody. Yeah, nobody does that. Papers all over the house, but nobody did it. The finger marks upon the door by none of us are made. We never leave the blinds unclosed to let the curtains fade. The ink we never spill, the boots that are lying around you see are not our boots. They all belong to Mr. Nobody. Does that sound familiar? Wow. Hope you don't have persons in your house that this poem illustrates. If you do, try to fix it. You know, get people involved, yourself involved. The trash has to be out. This is your job, and you'll learn some responsibility. People will learn responsibility. And even if you don't take it out, you take it out. I'm a person that my wife does all that. She's stronger than I am, but I do make trash, and I put my trash in the trash where it belongs. It's a trash basket. I put my trash basket. So anyway, fix it, and it's a tremendous, a terrific virtue that all young people and older people should learn, and not only to be aware of, but practice and do it and do it. You'll thank yourself later, and they'll thank you too. And one of the things that once you teach responsibility, it lightens your load, right? If you had to take out the trash and sweep the floor, right, make the beds, do the laundry, cook the food, go get the car, brake check, oil change, all the good stuff, pay the bills, financial stuff. If you give other people the chore and they're responsible for it, it lightens your load too. So not only do they benefit, you benefit, right? That's great. I think you got a handle on that, right? That's about $4,000 over Professor Gumbabu, whoever he is. Anyway, I want to talk about compassion now. This isn't too long. Already we're at 12 minutes. I'll hurry along. I'll hurry along. Now, compassion, I think, is a little more difficult to teach, but maybe you'll get to know what we're talking about. I know you know already because you people are smart. You're not dumb, that's for sure. But I have a short story. Now it's a short story that will get the point across. I'm going to show you the book. It's called The Book of Virtues by the same author that had the Book of Morals, that the thing that I wrote from, that I read from rather. I didn't write anything. And it's William Bennett, and he was the Secretary of Education during one of the Bush's presidencies. So this story, short, remember, short, don't run to bed. Hang in there. I'm doing the best I can. You know how good that is, right? It's called Grandmother's Table. Do we even sit at the table anymore as a family? Shouldn't we be going back to that? That was always fun, don't you think? Get to know the news of the day. How's Johnny doing at school? How's Mary doing at school? How are you doing at work? You got a raise? Wow, we're going to go to movies tonight. Woo! Anyway, this is called Grandmother's Table, and this was adapted from the Brothers Grimm. I don't know which brothers. I don't know if they have more, how many they had, but some Grimm brothers. Once there was a feeble old woman whose husband died and left her all alone. That's going to be for all of us. So she went to live with her son and his wife and their little daughter. Every day the old woman's sight dimmed and her hearing grew worse. And sometimes it did her hands trembled like mine do. So badly the peas rolled off her spoon or the soup ran down her cup. Poor baby. The son and his wife could not help but be annoyed at the way she spilled her meal all over the table. And one day, after she knocked over a glass of milk, they looked at each other. They had enough. I mean, Grandma was at the table and dirty at the table, spilled the milk on her chin. Poor baby. But that's what happens sometimes when you get older, very old. Phew. They set up a small table for her in the corner. They made a table for her in the corner next to the broom closet. It made the old woman eat her meals there. She sat all alone, looking with tear-filled eyes across the room at the others. Sometimes they spoke to her while they ate, but usually it was to scold her for dropping a bowl or a fork. Hey, Grandma, stop it, will you? Keep the house clean, doddering old idiot. One evening just before dinner, the little girl, she was busy playing, not much more, bear with me, on the floor with her building blocks. And her father asked her, what are you making? Hey, that is neat. I'm building a little table for you and mother, she smiled. So you can eat by yourselves in the corner someday when I get big. Her parents sat staring at her for some time, and then suddenly both began to cry. That night they let the old woman back to at her place at the big table. From then on, she ate with them. She drove a little bit, and the rest of the family. And her son and wife never screamed or seemed to mind a bit when she spilled something every now and then. That's pretty good, right? It makes sense. I hope so. Remember, what comes around goes around. So try to be compassionate, with family members. Sometimes if they need help, maybe they're unfortunate and maybe the job market's not too good. Maybe they need something to eat. Maybe they need $5 for gas. You know, whatever. Try to help. And there's a lot of old folks. Don't get mad at them. You see them driving. Sometimes they're driving 45 miles an hour in a 50-mile-an-hour zone, and people are in a hurry. I got to get to Walmart. I got to spend my money, and so on. Don't get mad and don't get angry, right? Angry. That's that's the word you want to throw out. So, and also, not only compassionate with your family and some old people, also with the homeless. Sometimes the homeless just through no fault or even through fault of their own. Maybe they're addicted, maybe they're alcoholics, but sometimes give them something. If they ask for money, give them money. Maybe they need to buy something. Maybe they need to buy a drink. So it helps their body a little bit. When you're addicted, it's a horrible, horrible thing. So be compassionate. Okay? Let me know what you think. All right. Hey, wake up in a corner. I see you nodding. I see you nodding. Wake up. Okay. I mean, for me, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. It's 1 o'clock Wednesday morning, not August, my God. Am I getting old if it's August? April 4th. April 4th. I was messing around with this for a little bit and a lot of time. So I just want to close with, love is a beautiful word. It's a strong word, fantastic word. Hate, horrible word. Throw it out with the trash. Just throw it out when those guys come in, put it in your green recycle. Don't recycle that thing. No, you perish the thought. Remember to keep loving. Okay? Keep loving. Until next time, this is Papa. Bye bye. Bye bye. Love everybody. I do. Ask my wife. She's going to beat me.